The globe rotates into the deep obsidian of the night, focusing its digital eye on a narrow sliver of water, wedged between jagged, ancient coastlines. At 0300 hours, the world is largely asleep, but the Strait of Hormuz remains a restless, pulsing artery of global survival. Through this singular geographic bottleneck, 20% of the world's liquid petroleum flows. It is a vital choke point, a place where the pulse of modern civilization can be felt in the rhythmic churning of propellers. From space, the water appears as a dark, glassy ribbon, fragile yet burdened with the weight of global energy security. Here, the tension is thick, a silent pressure cooker where national ambitions collide with the necessity of an open sea. Gliding through the upper atmosphere, far above the reach of conventional eyes, is a presence that defies the laws of visibility. It is not merely a machine fashioned from titanium and advanced composites. It is a ghost. Known to the world as the B-21 Raider, but referred to by those who command it as the Shadow, this aircraft moves through anti-access area denial zones as if the laws of physics had been rewritten in its favor. To the sophisticated radar arrays lining the Iranian coast, the sky is a void. To the Raider, however, the sky is a rich tapestry of data, sensors, and tactical opportunities. This is the embodiment of US high-end engineering, the true protagonist of this modern era of dominance. It is a weapon that does not scream, it whispers. In a windowless briefing room, the atmosphere is clinical and cold. The low hum of high-powered servers provides a constant white noise backdrop to the authoritative voice of a briefing officer. On the monitors, the Iranian problem is laid bare in glowing icons. The proliferation of ballistic missiles hidden deep within mountain silos and the chaotic threat of drone swarms are analyzed with detached, almost surgical precision. These are the tools of the antagonist, an asymmetric network intended to turn the Persian Gulf into a forbidden zone for Western influence. The officers speak of these threats not with fear, but as variables to be solved by the Raider's low observable skin. This specialized charcoal-colored coating is a miracle of material science, designed to drink in radar energy, effectively erasing the aircraft from the enemy's perceived reality. The engineering behind the B-21 is presented as a masterclass in foresight. It was birthed through digital twin technology, existing in a simulated universe for millions of hours before its first physical component was even manufactured. Every aerodynamic curve and every line of code was refined in a virtual space, ensuring that the physical version was born perfect. Its open system architecture is its greatest strength, allowing it to evolve at the speed of software updates. As the world changes, the Raider changes with it, updating its brain to stay steps ahead of any adversary. This constant evolution ensures that the technological disparity remains an unbridgeable chasm, preventing it from ever becoming obsolete. As the Shadow pushes deeper into contested airspace, the conflict between regional sovereignty and global stability reaches a silent crescendo. The B-21 is the physical manifestation of strategic will, a tool meant to ensure that no door can be locked against American interests. In the command centers of Tehran, the air is thick with the smell of ozone. They monitor their glowing screens, trusting in their sophisticated networks to alert them to any intrusion. Their radars sweep the horizon with rhythmic, confident pulses. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. To them, the night is empty and secure. They have no inkling that less than 50 miles away, a high-value target is already within Shadow's reach. A single radar screen flickers once, a tiny, inexplicable green stutter that is momentarily ignored as a mere ghost in the machine. But the ghost is real, and it is closer than they could ever imagine. While the B-21 operates in the silent void, a different kind of power emerges from the horizon. The USS Gerald R, a gargantuan steel island, slices through the warm, salty waters of the Persian Gulf. It is the Titan, 100,000 tons of diplomatic weight, moving with a deceptive, terrifying grace. Its presence is not a suggestion, it is a statement of fact. This is industrial-scale engineering at its most imposing. Unlike the carriers that preceded it, the Ford represents a generational leap in naval capability. powered by twin A-1B nuclear reactors. These silent behemoths provide nearly 3 times the electrical generation of the Nimitz class, creating a foundation of pure electrical dominance. This massive surplus of power is the lifeblood that allows the Titan to breathe, to think, and to defend itself against the most sophisticated threats. On the flight deck, the traditional roar of pressurized steam is absent. In its place is a high-frequency whine, a digital scream that heralds the future of naval aviation. This is the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, or EMALS. As a fighter jet moves into position, there are no clouds of vapor or mechanical clattering. Instead, powerful electromagnetic fields seize the aircraft, accelerating it with a precision that steam could never achieve. The transition from physical pressure to digital force is seamless. Each launch is a testament to US high-end engineering, a symphony of magnetism and mathematics that ensures the air wing can be deployed faster, more reliably, and with significantly less strain on the airframes. As the Titan maneuvers through the narrow shipping lanes of the Strait, it is soon accompanied by uninvited guests. Small, fast Iranian attack craft, painted in dull grays and greens, begin to shadow the carrier. They zip across the wake like angry hornets, their crews visible through binoculars, testing the perimeter of the giant. This is the asymmetric challenge, the swarm versus the shield. The contrast is jarring, the pinnacle of human technology being harassed by fiberglass hulls and outboard motors. Yet the Titan does not flinch. Every movement of these small craft is tracked with terrifying accuracy. The dual-band radar, or DBR, maps every ripple on the water and every thermal signature in the air, creating a dome of invincibility that extends for hundreds of miles. The DBR integrates X-band and S-band frequencies into a single, cohesive picture, ensuring that nothing, not a drone, not a missile, and certainly not a speedboat, can move without being catalogued. Deep within the windowless command centers of Washington, D.C., the operators watch the digital representation of the Gulf. To them, the Persian Gulf is not just a body of water, it is a complex, three-dimensional chessboard. The A2AD environment that the adversary has built is being systematically dismantled by the forward sensory reach. In the briefing room, the atmosphere remains clinical and cold, but the weight of responsibility is palpable. These men and women are not just monitoring a ship. They are managing a global strike capability that can reach any corner of the globe in a matter of hours. They see the data flowing from the Titan and the Shadow simultaneously, a synchronized dance of information that represents the ultimate expression of American strategic will. The stress of the mission is etched into their faces, yet their hands remain steady on the consoles, navigating the fine line between deterrence and escalation. Tension spikes as the sensors detect a sudden shift in the adversary's behavior. On the rocky, jagged coast, an Iranian mobile missile battery begins to rotate, its tracking radar searching for a lock. The operator in the silo, sweat beads forming on his brow, prepares to engage. He believes he is the hunter waiting for the perfect moment to strike at the American giant. But he is mistaken. Long before he can even press the firing stud, the Ford's electronic warfare suite has already detected the faint electromagnetic leakage of his radar warming up. The Titan's computers have identified the specific signature, calculated the trajectory, and prepared the countermeasures. The predator has become the prey, and the silent war of signals is won before the first physical shot is ever fired. The silent transmission of the Iran protocol ripples through the digital ether, a sequence of encrypted pulses that bridge the gap between the dark waves of the Gulf and the thin air of the stratosphere. It is the moment where theory becomes execution. The B-21 Raider, currently maintaining a perfect, silent orbit over the Iranian interior, does not appear on any localized radar screen. It is a phantom of high-end engineering, a ghost created from carbon fiber and classified coatings that absorb the frantic search signals of the adversary. Below it, the Earth is unaware of its presence, but the USS Gerald R. Ford, miles away in the deep blue of the Strait, knows exactly where its partner is. They are locked in a sophisticated data-driven embrace, a symbiotic relationship, where the Titan provides the massive sensory blanket, while the Shadow prepares the decisive strike. This is not a traditional conflict of attrition, but a demonstration of strategic deterrence through technological disparity. The protocol coordinates a synchronized dance, while the Ford's dual-band radar illuminates the entire theater, identifying every potential threat from shore-based missile batteries to swarming fast-attack boats. The radar receives this information in real time. The digital twin of the battlefield is updated every millisecond. The adversary's anti-access area denial zones, built over decades to repel intruders, are rendered transparent. The sheer scale of American industrial power is now focused on a singular objective: the surgical neutralization of a hardened underground facility buried deep beneath the jagged mountains. The execution is clinical. The B-21 releases its payload, precision-guided munitions designed to defeat the most reinforced concrete and earth. There is no traditional dogfight, no heroic struggle against overwhelming odds. There is only the cold, mathematical certainty of impact. In the adversary's command center, the first sign of the strike is the physical vibration of the ground itself. The earth groans as the kinetic energy of the impact collapses the subterranean structures. Their radar screens remain empty, showing a clear sky even as their most secure assets are vaporized. The psychological blow is as devastating as the physical one. It is the realization that the conflict was lost before it even began, simply because the technological chasm between the two forces could not be crossed. This dominance is not merely a product of better weapons, but of a superior engineering philosophy. The USS Gerald R. and the B-21 Raider are the physical manifestation of American strategic will, built on a foundation of limitless electrical power and open system architecture. This is industrial-scale engineering that cannot be replicated by regional powers. It is a message that sovereignty is no longer a shield against high-precision reach. The Titan's reactors continue to hum, providing enough energy to power a small city while simultaneously blinding an entire nation's air defense network. Back in the sterile, windowless briefing rooms of Washington, D.C., the atmosphere is one of professional calm. The operators monitor the extraction phase with the same clinical detachment they used for the infiltration. On the primary display, a small green notification appears. Mission successful. No American assets were detected. No signals were leaked. The global strike capability has functioned exactly as designed, proving that the most effective weapon is the one the enemy never sees coming. The tension that had gripped the room for hours dissipates, replaced by the quiet hum of air conditioning and the rhythmic clicking of keyboards. The final reflection is one of quiet power. The B-21 and the USS Gerald R. are more than just a plane and a ship. They are the guardians of a global order, the high-tech sentinels that ensure the world's most vital choke points remain open. As the sun begins to peak over the horizon, painting the Persian Gulf in shades of gold and orange, the Titan continues its steady patrol. High above, the Shadow begins its long, invisible journey home. A final satellite view focuses on the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow, peaceful ribbon of water where 20% of the world's oil flows unhindered. For a brief moment, the faint, ephemeral shadow of a B-21 crosses the frame, a dark bird of prey disappearing into the vast, protective darkness of the morning.